This game recap is brought to you by Manscaped's Foot Duster Foot Deodorant. Say goodbye to stinky foot funk with this essential deodorant spray. Head over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. The Foot Duster Foot Deodorant by Manscaped. The best protection any place below the waist.
The Carolina Panthers took down the Washington Commanders in their first preseason action, 23-21. Lots of storylines going into this game from, well, poop-faced Carson Wentz to Sam Darnold to Baker Mayfield. Lots of poop involved on the field in this matchup. Aaron, what were your takeaways from this poop fest?
Yeah, two things. Three things, but the first one's Baker Mayfield obviously coming in and getting 45 yards. Nice to see him have a good first outing there with Carolina to get a little bit of work there. He's still obviously getting acclimated to the offense. But the biggest thing is the Commanders. Name a starting quarterback this first week of preseason that is that's like the solid starter. Everybody knows they're going to start. That is playing deep into the second quarter. Like, name one, because there's one guy. It's this guy. Carson Wentz was in the game in the second quarter, and I'm like, what the hell is he playing for? And then I realized, I said, you know why he's playing? Because he's a turd. Because they know he's not good. Because they know that he has to prove something. He's a fat-ass turd, and it's sitting on his head right now. He went 10 for 13 for 74 yards. He's averaging 5.7 yards per reception. This man was so scared to throw the football that he was like, oh, my God, here, you take it. Oh, my God, here, you take it. Carson Wentz is not good. He is not a franchise quarterback. He is not going to help the Washington Commanders get to the next level. And it was proven by the fact that he had to play into the second quarter of a first preseason game. I don't care that he just got to that offense. It's been long enough. A lot of other quarterbacks are new to offenses, and guess what? They went to down one series, maybe two series, and they were pulled out of the game. Not sitting in the second quarter, still throwing the ball around. It's ridiculous. And then the second thing is, Antonio Gibson's got to be the most frustrating player on the planet. He's the only person I know that can fumble in a preseason game, get benched, and still going to be the RB1 in Washington.
Okay. All right. For Carolina, AJ, what did you think of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield?
I thought, why isn't PJ Walker ever in the conversation of being a starter? That man got it going on. That's what I would be talking about. I don't be trading for no damn Baker Mayfield who's just going to be yelling at you by week 5 because someone didn't run the right little cross route. Why not let PJ Walker come in, throw the ball all over the field like he was doing in the XFL and last season when you benched Sam Darnold? That's what I think about either one of them. Sam Darnold had a nice little touchdown, 16 yards and a touchdown, 2 for 3. Then they pulled him out the game. Is he going to be the starter? Who really knows anymore? Let Christian McCaffrey do everything. Let Christian McCaffrey run the ball. Let him throw the ball. Let him throw it to himself like Marcus Mariota once did over and over again. Christian McCaffrey can get that done. These guys, there's no quarterbacks here. There's no quarterbacks here.
Well, they do have Matt Corral, too. You didn't even mention Matt Corral, who's ahead of PJ Walker.
Can I bring something up to ask you, Vinny?
I was hopefully going to ask you about Sam Howell in this game because he didn't look bad.
Nobody cares about Sam Howell.
Okay.
I mean, gosh, I was like, I thought you were going to go somewhere else totally with that. By the way, Matt Corral went 1 for 9. He did look bad, but that's
what I'm saying. Between Sam Howell and Matt Corral, I mean, Sam Howell definitely looked much better.
I want to ask you, since you were so chipper about the Carolina Panthers running backs without Christian McCaffrey, how did they look, Vinny?
I wasn't chipper about them.
How did they look,
chipper
Vinny?
About them?
Did you find a guy in there somewhere?
I don't. Did you find? You're the analyst. You're supposed to tell me. Did you find the guy in there? Because that's the question I asked. That's the question I asked.
Let me throw these numbers at you.
Spencer Brown. Okay.
Let me throw the numbers at you. Let me throw the numbers at you. 3.6, 3.2, 2.8, 1.7, 1.3, and 1. I won't say Baker's 1.5. That's the average yards per carry against backups of Washington that the Carolina Panthers ran for. And you're going to tell me that if Carolina loses Christian McCaffrey, that Chuba Hubbard or Deontay Foreman is going to come in and be relevant and have an impact.
So there's your answer right there. When I asked the question the other night, I was asking
you didn't ask me a question. You said you were interested in those guys because you thought that one of who's going to step up.
And guess what? Now we have answers. They all suck. Where's Christian McCaffrey? Bring him on in.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow, now we have answers because I told you that then.
Well, you still have to.
You had the answer at that point in time. Do I need
you had an answer.
It was the answer that I just gave him again, and now he's saying, yeah, they suck because they do suck. They're just guys. They are Jags.
Bring back
Just
Mike Davis.
a guy. Mike Davis season.
Bring back Mike Davis.
Less
Bring
than a
back Mike
Jag.
Davis. All
Moral
right,
of the
next
story,
up.
Carson Wentz is a turd. You can't just say next up. You got to end. Oh, never mind. Next up, Carson Wentz is a turd.
This
Antonio
guy.
Gibson is going to lose his job to some other guy, but then get it back and still be the guy. And Matt Corral's not ready to be a quarterback. Go ahead.
You drafted Antonio Gibson with all that happening?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Matter of fact, everybody who has Antonio Gibson on their roster that wants to sell him, send him to me, please.
Okay. Well, while we wait for that to happen, the Commanders traveled to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs on Saturday, and the Panthers take on the New England Patriots on Friday.